Hi everyone, Dr. Joanne here. Welcome to my latest video, Secrets Do Not Serve You. So I'm a mind-body doctor and a mindset coach. I teach women how to heal their bodies, their emotions, and their relationships doing mindset work by cleaning up the mind. So our thought patterns, our belief patterns, our stories, those things have an energy and they create emotions and they create physical symptoms and illnesses in our bodies. And so if we want to reverse our emotions and our physical symptoms and heal our relationship issues, we've got to look at the mind. And most of my work is based on A Course in Miracles. And this can be, for most people, a complicated read. A lot of people have difficulty understanding it. For some reason, it just makes sense to me. It always has. And so in my online courses and coaching, I'm able to drill this down and teach you what it's trying to say, so that you can change your mind, change your thoughts, clean up your mind patterns so that your emotions are more even keel and you heal your body, you heal your relationships. But I've come across an author, Tina Louise Spalding. In fact, she's got a YouTube channel and she's got several amazing books. And one of the books that I read last week, a short, quick little read, was called uh, Love and a Map to the Unaltered Soul. It was a great read, really well written, and that it was easy to understand. It was short. And then I've already loaned it out, so I don't have it in front of me here, but I'm going to read you a chapter from this book, Spirit of the Western Way. Wake up to your power, heal the collective consciousness of the Western mind. And this is just amazing. It's so important to understand what we're doing and why. Our ego mind is so conditioned to believe things about ourselves and about others that are simply not true. And we need to understand what's going on so that we really understand what we need to heal and why. It's super helpful. So this particular chapter, chapter 18, Secrets Do Not Serve You, I want you to just listen to this and see if it makes sense to you. I thought it was so profound. I didn't even want to explain it. I just want to read it. So take a deep breath and listen in. Many of you have been on what you think of as a spiritual path for many years, yet you have sicknesses in the body, financial problems, or relationship issues that never seem to go away, and you have become quite frustrated. You say, I have been on a spiritual path for a long time and nothing seems to be changing. We want to bring to light here the idea of the social face, the face of innocence, the idea that a presentation is offered to the world that is your conditioned self, and you offer that conditioned self to yourself as well. You put on some nice clothes in the morning, you shower and do your hair nicely, and you put forth a very respectable and acceptable presentation to the world as you head out to your daily activities. If your mind, though, is preoccupied with your resentment for a relative or the fact that you don't like your body, then yes, you have dressed it up nicely. But you hate this part and this part aches and is very negative. You don't like it and you wish it would go away. If the social face you present is not a match to the interior journey you experience, your emotional journey, then you will receive very confusing feedback from the world. You will get a frequency reflection of that confusion, the resentment, and those dark, unloving, self-loathing thoughts, even though you present a polished and acceptable exterior. You try hard, do the best you can, and do everything you were taught to do to be a good person. You read the right books, try to think the right thoughts, and perhaps have some mantras or affirmations that go through your mind. Yet these other things lurk beneath the surface. These lurking things are powerful. These fears and judgments are powerful because those are the things you don't want people to see. They are the things you are ashamed of, the things that scare you, the things you try to control. What happens for many of you is you exert a level of control for a while. Your behavior, that thing you present to the world, is done through will, an insisting kind of feeling. It is not a relaxed feeling. It is a, I can do this. I must step up to the plate here. I must do this. I must, I should, I could, I would type of feeling. Inside you is a different being. Inside you is somebody who is perhaps frightened or resentful. Inside you is somebody who is perhaps hungry. There are many, many things inside you that are not expressed. Generally, when you exert control over your behavior for a certain period of time, you can do it for a while, but eventually it crumbles. This is demonstrated by the person who restricts food all the time by force of will and then loses control and binges, buying some donuts or some chips and going home alone to eat them. The person stops him or herself and then feels sick. What is happening is that person must look at a side of the personality that is not being fed and is being controlled. Something inside that person expresses itself through the binging behavior. Another example of this expression is the very health conscious and very well behaved person who goes to the gym, walks in the mountains, and pays attention to personal care, but in a moment of upset or anger, he or she buys a bottle of alcohol and overdrinks and feels terrible the next day. Something inside that person lets loose and expresses itself. Next section is have compassion for others and yourself. Now, each of you has your thing that you do in private, whether it's eating food, drinking alcohol, or binge watching television shows, for example. All are aspects of you that may not be the you that you show others. They might not be parts of you that you are proud of. They might not be parts of you that you can love and accept. You hide them because they are your dirty little secrets. These are real parts of you, the dark parts of you, or ideas that you have that are untrue, fearful, self-deprecating, or unloving. These manifest in your life. Just because you don't show them to anybody or express them at the dinner table does not mean they do not create. This is a very important part of the conversation. It relates to your social conditioning, to this social face that you present to the world, and the real you that is underneath comes out in relationships. So think about, this is just a sidebar here, think about your most personal relationships with a significant other or family members. These secrets, these dirty little secrets inside of us express themselves through our relationships. Okay, back to the chapter here. You fall in love with the social face, and you fall in love with the person who goes on dates with you and behaves. After a little while of living together, you see the dark underbelly, this part of you that did not really see before, although there were probably clues. Generally speaking, you do not see the truth about someone until you live in his or her home. Know that this is okay. In fact, when you are heavily conditioned the way you are, some of these dark secret behaviors are the most illuminating experiences you have. You are conditioned to behave yourself perfectly, and you manage to pull it off all day out in the world. People see you as what you present to them. Yet there is this other part that comes up occasionally in perhaps less than tasteful cravings or habits or addictions. What you see is the darkness in your mind manifesting in behavior that you cannot always control. This is a gift, and we want you to become much more forgiving and loving of yourselves. When you give up controlling your food, let us say, and you binge on something that is unhealthy, you see an aspect of yourself asking to be looked at. This part of yourself asks you to look at it. Is it your loneliness? Is it your rage or your fear? What is manifesting the behavior? For many of you, the behavior will come intermittently. It might show up once a month or once a week, and you hate yourself in the morning. You judge yourself and you say, "Oh, I can't believe I did that again. That is terrible. I will never do it again." That is the lament of the morning after. You need to look at this. This is the thing that creates those seemingly negative aspects of experience that confuse you. Here you are trying your best and working your hardest, yet negative things keep happening to you. Why? because these dark secrets lurk inside your unconscious mind. Now, they are not totally unconscious. They can come to the surface just like that when somebody says something you don't like, or you have a thought that makes you feel lonely or unlovable. So they are not unconscious in that sense, but they are not at play all the time, as far as you are aware, because you do not see them. That does not mean they're not creating. They are creating. They are lower frequency aspects of your consciousness that are always there, being controlled, and they rise to the surface once in a while. The fact that they are controlled does not mean that they are not creating all the time. That's why it's important for us to look at this. Look at those negative, addictive, shameful behaviors that pop up once in a while. You all have parts of yourselves that you do not want others to see. Look at them. See them as controlled, limiting thoughts that have to be expressed once in a while. No matter how antisocial they are, no matter how problematic they are, they must get out. It's like a pressure cooker. Only so much pressure can build before it explodes. Once you have gone through one of these shameful episodes, we use quotation marks because there is no need for shame. It is merely an unloving thought in your head that is expressed so that you can see it. Remember that this is what the experience is for. It is to show you what you believe. So when your behavior deteriorates to one of these demonstrations of unlovingness, know that you learn and get to know your consciousness through what you experience. One of the greatest untruths of your society is that the face you present to the world is the one that matters. In terms of creation, the feelings inside of you are what matter. They create everything. And that is why you have disparate reflections coming back from a seemingly perfect social face. In other words, negative things happen, sicknesses, divorces, infidelities, or addictions, and you cannot comprehend them because they seem so contradictory to your social face, the face of innocence that you present to the world. Let us tell you this. It does not matter what you present to the world. What goes on in your heart, your mind, and your feelings is mirrored back to you in the form of physical manifestations. If those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are constantly entertained and are creating, then they will create in the physical world. So the secrets, the dark secrets, create. And there are no sins here. God does not look down on you and say, you binge drink every Friday night, so you are a bad person. No, look at what causes you to binge drink every Friday night. Why do you need to numb yourself? Why do you need to do such an unpleasant thing to yourself and your physical structure? What is it in your life that requires this release of pressure? What are you doing moment by moment that is not easy and is not in alignment with your true self? That is what causes these kinds of things. Be much more loving to yourself when you look at these, what you call negative or antisocial behaviors, and take the same approach when you see those behaviors in other people. If you are out on a Friday night picking up some groceries and you see somebody drunk on the street, know that that person is just suffering from an untrue idea, an unloving idea that hurts so much that he or she had to numb it with a lot of alcohol. Look at that person with loving eyes and forgive that behavior. That person knows not what he or she is doing. That person behaves that way because he or she cannot stand suffering anymore. The same thing happens with homeless people or others who struggle in a way you do not. They have thoughts, ideas, or beliefs that manifest in the physical world and demonstrate their lack of alignment with love. So what they need is love. This does not mean that you live with them. It does not mean that you even have to help them in a physical sense. But look on them with loving and forgiving eyes and know that they do the best they can with the beliefs they have. You are the same. You all have behaviors you do not want anyone to know about. You have secret thoughts and fantasies, and that is okay. Look at them with loving eyes and ask them what message they are giving you. What is the message these reflections are asking you to pay attention to? If you don't pay attention to them, they will just get louder, so don't ignore them. Look at your shameful or negative behaviors and ask yourself what is expressing itself. Is it anger, fear, shame, or loneliness? What are you expressing in these behaviors? You want to know. This is how you heal. Lower frequency thoughts create in your life. They create in your body and your relationships, and they will not go away. It is what these incarnations are for. Each incarnation you have is an opportunity to find out what these lower frequency, unloving beliefs are and to bring them into awareness, accept them, forgive them, and eventually love them. That is the process, and this is the basis for all spiritual evolution. What are you afraid of? What are you blocking? What do you resent? Bring it to the surface. Admit that it is there, and then forgive it and love it. Bring it to the surface. It takes a while, and there are many of these things in your mind. But know that there is no judgment on this side for whatever it is that you are confused about. It is merely an error in thinking, and it can be changed. See these behaviors as mistakes, errors in thinking that can be changed, and ask Spirit to help you change them so that you can be at peace, true, integrated, and absolute peace. That is where knowledge resides. In that frequency, once you're at peace, you can get in touch with the truth of your nature, of your reality, and you will be able to have direct conscious contact with beings of higher consciousness. That is where we are. We are in the realms of peace and knowledge and love, and we are trying to get you to step towards them. We cannot make you do it because of free will. All we can tell you is that your suffering is an arrow that points you toward your arrows. And our job is to encourage you and to assist you in whatever way we can in clarifying your minds so that you are in alignment with peace and love. So that's it. That's that chapter on, that we all have these secrets, and it's up to us. Our triggers are our lessons. And in fact, that's one of my YouTube videos in the Mindset Tips playlist. Our triggers are our lessons. They're pointing to our untrue beliefs or where we're having unloving thoughts about ourselves. And when we have these secret, unloving resentments and fears and unloving thoughts, that's what creates emotions that we don't like. It creates physical symptoms that we don't like. And then we have this strife or conflict in our most precious relationships. So in order to heal those things, we have to pay attention to our triggers, and we have to learn to figure them out, to see what's under the surface so that we can heal them, turn them around, turn those thoughts around, those beliefs around, shine a light on them. That's what this process is all about. And so we have to look at all the different ways that society has conditioned us, conditioned our ego into believing things about ourselves and about the world around us and about other people that are simply not true. And there's a lot of that going around. So I encourage you to look at my other videos, watch my other videos, especially in my Mindset Tip playlist. Start from the top. There's some videos that explain our conditioning. So why do we need to do mindset work is a good video to start with. I talk about our ego indoctrination systems. These books by Tina Louise Spalding, she's got a lot of really great books. She talks about the indoctrination systems. Once we know and it clicks in and it makes sense, then you're like, oh, that's all it is. That's what I need to work on. It's not some terrible thing. Our ego wants us to think that there's something so terrible that, in our past that we just don't want to go there. And that's just BS. Once you look at it in a different way, it's freeing. It's like, oh my gosh, is that all it was? I can turn that around. So I want you to look into Tina Louise Spalding's books. And look at her YouTube channel and see if there's some things that resonate with you there. But this is what I help my clients with. We go over all the books. We drill this stuff down. And if you're interested in working with me, check out my website, drjoannetully.com. And you're probably going to need some help getting through this with your ego mind. Your ego twists everything around, and you're going to need somebody to call your ego out on the BS and help you get to a different place. This mindset work is work for a lifetime. It takes a while to clarify your mind, clean it all up. I've been doing this work since 2014 and it has changed my life completely. And what we're seeing now with the energies in the world around us, we've had some big years in 2020 and 2021. We had opportunities present themselves for us to really, really take a look at the parts of our lives that are not working, shining a light on where we're not happy. What's not working? Do we like our job? Do we like where we live? Do we like who we live with? All the things. We've got to take a look at that stuff. And if you don't start doing that work, it's going to hurt more and more because the energies are going faster. We're coming into a period where we're taking some quantum leaps, moving into a different type of energy. So it's time to do the work. It's time to get serious about cleaning up your mindset so that you can stop the suffering. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully this served you. Please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my website, drjoannetully.com. Leave a comment, share this video with others, and let me know how I can help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.